Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. Thanks for joining me. For our class today, we're going to be working on a balancing posture with a leg extension. So that means we'll be balancing on one foot with one leg extended. But we're going to use some props for this. The first prop you'll need is a yoga straps, just something long. It could be a jump rope, it could be a belt, just something long. And also, just something to help support your body as you balance. I have a chair here, so we'll be using a chair, but you can also be standing next to a wall or a table, just something that will help you to stand steady. All right, let's begin. Of course, we like to begin in a seated posture. Feel free to sit on a soft blanket. That's another prop that you can certainly have for your practice today. Or a pillow. I've got my bolster here. Sometimes I like to sit on my bolster. Also have some yoga blocks here. We'll also be using those too. Alrighty, so sit up nice and tall, nice lengthened spine. And if you need to, go ahead and sit in your chair if you have a chair with you, or sit up against a wall if you need more support for your back. Let's begin with a few deep breaths. As you inhale, just feel the breath rising. Really feel the expansion of your lungs. Then exhale through the mouth, with a nice sigh. You'll start to feel the body relax. Do that again. A nice full breath in. Complete relaxation. Good. You can do that as many times as you want. And when you're ready, just settle into slow, steady breaths. This is our breathing meditation. So you can do this with your eyes opened if you'd like. If they are open, just soften your eyelids or just gaze downward at the floor, or you can just simply close your eyes. Breathe slowly, breathe deeply. Breathing with intention. This is an opportunity to come to this moment, to be more present, connected, and aware. This sets the foundation for our yoga practice. Just continue breathing in and out. You may even notice how your body is responding to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest or your belly as you inhale and exhale. And listen to the sound of your breath. So if your breath is a bit quiet, just turn up the volume so you can hear your breath. Good. Slow, steady breaths. Let's continue to bring more awareness to our breathing effort. This time when you inhale, just feel the breath rising upward to fill your lungs. Very expansive up top. It's as if you're allowing the breath to pull upward away from the belly to fill your lungs. And then exhaling, we pull the belly button in towards the spine so the breath doesn't drop back down towards belly. Instead, we engage the abdominal muscles. We create the abdominal lock. So again, inhale, feeling as if you're pulling breath from below, raising it upward, expanding in the lungs. Keep that uplifting sensation as you exhale and draw belly button in towards spine. That light contraction of the abdominal muscles. Again, the abdominal lock. And just do that a few more times. These are just more ways to bring more awareness to your breath and body and to remain in the present moment. Good. Let's take 3 more breaths. Good. Let's add a very simple movement. This will be our moving meditation. So on your next inhale, extend your arms out across the room, then all the way up as you inhale. Exhale, extend the arms out and let them return down to your side. Good, let's do that again. Nice full breath in, reaching out with good effort. Feel as if you're going to touch the wall on either side of you and up towards the ceilings. Then exhale, keep reaching outward and downward. Good. Now just go ahead and continue on your own, breathing and moving at your own pace. Continue to notice the sensations in your body. In this case, now we have the arms in motion. Reaching out and up, feel the lengthening through the sides of your body, lengthening through the spine, movement in the shoulders. Feel the breath rising to fill your lungs. Exhale, even though the arms are coming down, we still want to feel that uplifting sensation. And we connect with center body by drawing the belly button in towards spine. Continuing to engage the abdominal lock. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, draw belly button in as arms come out and down. Very good. Now finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, you can just bring your arms back down. Let your hands rest in your lap or on your knees. And let everything relax. Come back to stillness. Still notice the feeling and the sound of your breath. Still seated nice and tall, just bring your hands behind you. You're just going to rest onto your fingertips just to make the arms a bit longer. And as we bring the arms back, notice how the shoulders also draw back. A little opening here. This pathway from the shoulder to the chest. This muscle grouping can get a little tight since our arms are typically forward. When we bring them back and just hold them here steadily, they just start to stretch and open up. So both hands behind you. We're going to create a mild back bend. We push the fingertips into the floor, feel the chest opening, and just tip your chin up a little bit, not to strain your neck. And from here, we'll inhale, press more firmly into the floor with your fingers. You might even feel an energy shoot up the arms and to the shoulders. We're breathing in, filling up the lungs. Exhale, feel the belly button pull in towards spine and squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Again, pressing into the earth, inhale, fill up the lungs, notice the feeling and the sound. Exhale, pull belly button in, and we've added that sensation of squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you. So we're engaging the upper back as well as the low belly. These are wonderful ways to support the body, especially in a back bend. 1 more breath. And then just lower your chin, walk your hands towards yourself, bring the hands back to your lap or knees, and just hold in stillness. Since that was our mild back bend, we'll take a forward fold here too. So if your legs are crossed, you go ahead and uncross them and place the soles of the feet together. This will keep the knees bent, out and open. This is bound angle pose. The binding part is actually your hands holding on to the legs. So it could be your shins, your ankles, your feet, or your toes, just like this. Now you don't have to have the legs just kind of hanging out here. I sometimes like to use my yoga blocks. This could be rolled up towels or even some small pillows, and just tuck them underneath the legs so they just rest open here. And just by resting on the props, the legs can relax. All right, I'm holding on to my ankles here. You want to be sure you can sit up as tall as you can. So breathe in. Everything's still rising. Fill up the lungs. As you exhale, we're still drawing belly button in towards spine, but this time adding some motion by hinging forward at the hips, sending the heart and chin forward. Now I didn't move too far, but I am at a new angle. Hold here for a moment, couple of breaths. You may start to feel sensation in the inner legs, also the effort of maintaining a lengthened spine. Let's go again. We're going to inhale, lifting up through the spine, long torso. Exhale, pull belly in and hinging forward a tiny bit more. Now, because I'm leaning forward, I can now just scoop up my toes, but you can still hold on to your feet or ankles. Now you can stay just like this, just as long as you feel just maybe a light stretch in the inner legs. But you can also go a little deeper. So I'm going to inhale, continue this lengthening through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward, but this time we can lower the chin and even allow the back to round, which may allow you to go a little deeper. Now we want to be careful here. In soft flow, we don't need to go too deeply into a pose, and we certainly don't need to move too quickly. I like to say that we're moving into a posture and pausing at about 60 to 70%. You don't have to go all the way to 100%. And sometimes we even push even further than that, pushing to 110%. And that's what I think society encourages to do. But in yoga, you're also given the permission, self-permission, to pull away from that. Here, only working at 60 to 70%. And not worrying that you're not going to get the benefit from the pose, because you certainly will. Let's take 2 more breaths. This feels really nice. And also this allows you to even hold the posture even longer, because you're not straining or forcing your body. All right, if your back is rounded like mine, we're going to lift the chin up a little bit to get re-extension through the neck and spine, and then from here just hinging my way back up until I'm tall in the seat. And we'll just hold here for a moment. Very good. Let's make a transition to hands and knees. So I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. I'm just going to carefully maneuver my body to hands and knees. This is where your blanket or a towel can come in handy, or even double up on your yoga mat. There we go. So I have a nice rectangle here, so I can rest my knees at one end and hands at the other end. And we come to this tabletop posture. Moving through a series of poses, just 2 poses, cat and cow. So we'll inhale, tip the chin up, just looking forward. Even feel like your heart is moving forward, but at the same time the pelvis is tipping back, and it allows the belly to drop, and it creates a back bend, like a U shape, a little curve here. That's cow pose. On the exhale, starting with the back end, let's tuck the pelvis under, feel the belly button pull up towards spine. It's just like the engaged core muscles, the abdominal lock. The rounded spine and chin to chest. This is cat pose. And reverse it. Inhale. Tip the pelvis back, belly drops. There's the back bend. Heart opens, look forward. Exhale, still starting with the back end as best as you can. Tuck it all underneath. Engage the abdominal lock. Round the spine, chin to chest. Now continue to move and breathe at your own pace. I'm going pretty slowly, but you don't have to go this slow. You can move a little quicker. But certainly be aware of the sensations you're creating in your body. This nice undulation of the spine, rocking of the pelvis. Feels really good. Especially if you tend to get a little tight in your low back. This starts to loosen things up. All right, finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. When you're complete, just come back to a neutral tabletop position. Just look directly down. You might be looking between your hands, so your neck is neutral. Take a breath. All right, Now this may have fatigued the wrist. So let's take a little break. We're going to tuck the toes and just start walking the hands towards the knees so we can send the hips back towards the heels, removing the weight from the hands so we can do a little relief for the hands. I like to circle the wrists, kind of flex and drop, and even wiggle the fingers just to bring some relief into the wrists. Because in that forced flex position, especially when we're putting weight on it, it can fatigue the wrists. And so what you can also do is just do a little pulse. What I like to do is take the top of the hand and just do a little pulse into my blanket here, not hard at all, just to get a counter movement in the hand and wrist. That's it. Alrighty. Now we're moving to downward facing dog. I need to move my props. First, just moving the blanket out of the way. I also need to move this chair slightly forward because it's on my mat right there. There we go. So back to our tabletop posture, ready to set up for downward facing dog. So first, just notice if your wrists are directly underneath the shoulders. We're going to change that. Step the hands forward just a little bit, and as you do so, spread your fingers out pretty wide. Get a nice stretch between each finger. Do that with both hands, and then kind of lean forward and press into the palms so they flatten out and open up. As you press, just notice how your arms straighten and keep them strongly straight like this. Tuck your toes under, and then we'll do another cat-cow flow. Just one. You'll inhale. There's cow. That's the back bend. Exhale into cat pose. Hold in cat. From here, we'll lift the knees and then send the hips into the air, moving into downward facing dog. Feeling the chest and head kind of naturally sink between the arms. And then lastly, just a little adjustment of the feet. I like to step them forward slightly, even take them a bit wider. I also adjust the hands, take them slightly wider. In down dog, just bend the knees a bit more. That should create more space and mobility in the hips so you can lift them up a little higher. That will help to really elongate through the torso. Take a moment and just nod yes a few times and even shake your head no. There's a tendency to keep the neck pretty tight in this pose, but as best as you can, loosen it up. Okay, from here, take a few steps forward so your feet are perhaps at the center of your mat. Just be sure they're flat on the ground, and then just slide your fingertips toward your toes. Let's see if we can hold this for 2 or 3 breaths. Remember, we're going to be doing some balancing, standing on one foot, and it also means extending one leg, that's the one that's going to be on the floor, but also extending another leg in the air. So we're doing some hamstring stretches. Now just go ahead and inhale and slide your hands up to your shins or knees or even your thighs, just to a point where you feel like you're parallel to the floor. For me, it's about here. And just be sure your feet are flat on the floor. You're not leaning back into your heels. You're not falling forward toward your toes, but really find your center so you feel pretty balanced. Keep a good bend in the knees. Alrighty, this will keep the legs very strong, well supported, because they are supporting you in this posture. But also feel the extension of the torso. You're getting long. You're actually feeling like you're moving in opposite directions, like the top of your head is moving forward and your hips and tailbone are moving back behind you. Bring the hands up to your thighs. Push into your thighs and help lift until we're about 45 degrees. Here, like a chair pose. Feet still feel grounded, feel well supported, legs are strong. If you've got balance, extend the arms directly forward here. And as you're able, maybe sit down a little deeper. You're going to really feel the thighs engage. Then, with an inhale, press the heels into the floor to help straighten your legs. Extend both arms up into the air and just treat this nice, a good stretch. Then exhale, bring the arms out and down to your side. We've made it to our first standing position. Feel free to roll the shoulders. Big circles backward and forward. Very nice. Good. All right, just hold here for a moment in mountain pose and take a breath or two. We're going to go through our half salute to the sun, which just means we're going to start in standing, mountain pose. We're going to fold forward and then come back up just once. All right, so standing near the top of the mat, I'll certainly guide you through it. Here we go. Inhale, reach out and up. Big stretch. Exhale, spread your wings out to the side. Bend your knees, sit back as if you're sitting into a chair that's behind you. Bring your hands to your thighs. There's our chair-like pose, but we're going to keep moving. I'm just going to slide the hands down the legs until they reach my ankles and even the floor, releasing the head as best as you can. And if you're able, look between your knees towards the wall behind you. This is a standing forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins, knees, or thighs. Rise up only halfway and hold. Settle in like we did earlier. This is a half forward fold. Still feeling the strength in the legs. We're shifting the weight into the heels. Bend the knees, lower the hips a little bit. I'm bringing hands to thighs, pushing into the thighs just to help lift upper body. So we pause in our chair pose. Take the arms straight forward, even sit back and down a little deeper. We're just getting some strength in the legs, also helping with balance. Drive heels into the floor as you inhale, straighten the legs, reach up all the way up. Big stretch there at the top. Exhale, arms return to your side. Well done. Another nice circling with the shoulders. Roll them back and roll them forward. Good. Let's get into the wrists a little bit. I can just still feel the fatigue in my wrists, so I'm just going to circle the wrists and wiggle my fingers a little bit. That's from being in downward facing dog. All right, we'd like to do a variation of Warrior One, which will take us into a lunge, but not a very wide stance in the lunge. So again, starting in mountain pose, standing near the top of the mat. Here we go. Begin with soft knees, so just soften the knees a little bit. Start shifting your weight into your right foot. We'll be standing on the right foot. Lean forward a little bit. You might even feel your right set of toes grip the mat. Hold that sensation because you want to feel some lightness in this left leg. I'm just lifting the heel and just tapping the left foot back. Now, since I happen to have my chair here, I'm just going to bring it in. Ideally, if you've got a nice high back chair, this is great because then you can use the top of the chair here for a little balance. So what I'm going to do is going to step the foot back, hold here. This is just in case you need a little extra balance and support. This could be a chair, table, wall, whatever you'd like, okay? Just wanted to show you that, but I am going to move it out of the way. But then finding center, what I'm going to do, using my arm to demonstrate, I'm going to turn the leg out like that. So it's turning the leg out to plant the heel into the floor. And I shifted to find center. And you can keep a little softness in the knees. So you feel grounded. There's our lunge, just a little bit of distance between the feet. Now, place hands on hips, push pelvis down, feel the torso extend, get taller, then turn forward slightly here. Now, inhale, extend the arms into the air. And the exhale, we're going to bend the elbows down to about 90 degrees. So this is our variation of Warrior One. Knees are soft here. You're balanced. There's not too much distance between the feet. Arms are up, but you have the elbows bent so the shoulders don't feel too fatigued. Now, I like doing these lunges because they really start to help us with balance, meaning balancing on one foot, which we'll be getting to in a moment. Now, inhale, extend the arms straight up. Exhale, arms out and down, and bring hands to hips. I'm going to lean forward, putting weight into this front foot. Again, if you have a wall, table, or chair right here, actually the top of my chair is right nearby, just for a little extra balance if you need it. I'm going to lift that back heel so I can just step the left foot forward together, both feet standing up tall. Let's get even taller by extending both arms up into the air. Exhale, arms return to the side. There we are. And a little circle of the shoulders if you'd like. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Starting with soft knees. Just be sure you're not locking out the knee joints. Shifting weight now into your left foot. Planted there. Use any support that you need. We're leaning forward slightly, gripping the mat with your toes. Right foot is light. I'm lifting the heel, stepping back, but not too far, just until it just naturally stops. Okay, so I'm going to turn that leg out and down. Okay, so I'm finding my center here, good balance between the feet, although there's not too much distance between them. Hands on hips, push pelvis down, or imagine you are, and lifting torso up. That just creates some space along the belt line so you can turn to face mostly forward, like so. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, bend elbows 90 degrees. Once again, here's our variation of Warrior One. Feel strongly standing in this lunge. It's a balancing pose, even though we have both feet on the ground. 2 more breaths. Ready to move. Inhale, extend both arms up. Exhale, arms out and down. And bring hands to hips. Let's lean forward, once again putting weight into this front foot. Use support of a wall, table, or chair if you need to, so we can pick up that back heel, step forward, feet together, back to mountain pose. I'll just face you here. Inhale, reaching out and up, getting extra tall. Exhale, arms down to your side. And another movement of the shoulders. Alrighty, now we're going to move through another sun salutation and we'll return to Warrior One. It'll just feel different. There'll be a little bit more distance between the feet. Again, helping us with balance. And then we're going to do some more leg stretching and then we'll get into some balancing. Alrighty, here we go. Mountain pose to begin. Soft knees. Inhale, extend both arms out and up. Exhale, spread your wings out to the side. Bend your knees, sit back into the imaginary chair. You can bring hands to thighs. Brief pause in chair pose like so, and then just slide down the legs. Feel the rounding of the back. Release head, neck, and shoulders. Look between the knees towards the wall behind you. Inhale, slide the hands up to the shins or knees. Rise up to that halfway mark. This exhale, continue folding all the way down. Bend the knees more if you need to, so you can reach the floor with your hands. Plant the hands into the mat and start walking, stepping the feet to the back end of your mat. Take your time with that. Once you're there, you're going to lower the hips, but not too low, maybe to shoulder level. This is plank pose. Pressing firmly into the floor. Strong, straight arms. You're going to feel this good energy and strength in the upper body. Straight legs here too. You want to have a sense that your hips, your bum, your hamstrings, calves, and heels feel like they're lifting up towards the ceiling. All right, now breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees so we can send the hips into the air. Chest and head sink between the arms. Again, you might need to tiptoe forward a little bit. And I'm making another adjustment by taking the feet wider, hands wider. Keeping the knees nice and soft. Hips lift up a little higher, releasing the head, neck, and shoulders. All right, let's get ready for our next variation of Warrior One. Let's start by stepping the left foot to center on the mat. That will be for balance. Pick up your right foot. Then inhale, extend the right leg straight back behind you. It doesn't have to be high. It could even be way down here. Just see if you can get it low. You might even flex the foot or point your toes. Inhale. Exhale, bend this right knee in the air. Bring that right knee in underneath you towards your chest. Shift forward until your shoulders are over your wrists. And we're going to set the right foot down, just the toes. Keep the heel lifted, doesn't matter where. And then set the left knee on the floor. Now, that was a lot of pressure on the wrists. We're going to pull away from the wrists. Free the right hand. I'm going to reach back and grab hold of the right ankle. Bring it up to the top of the mat or just behind the right wrist. Then re-lift the left knee. Pivot or turn that leg so I can plant the heel into the floor. I still have a lot of weight forward, so I step the hands back here. So instead of way up here, now they're back here and it pulls my body back. That way I get more weight into this back foot. This is establishing the balance. Now I'm folded over here. I'm going to start to climb up the body. I'm going to bring hands up to thigh. Push into thigh to lift torso here to about 45 degrees to help extend really long and straight. And while I'm here, just making sure I have a good anchoring sensation of the left foot into the ground behind me. As you're able, reach forward with the arms and then hinge upward until your torso and then your arms are perpendicular to the floor, so straight up and down. Reach up and lunge. And there's our warrior one. Second variation. This feels different. More distance between the feet, practicing balance, feeling balanced. You don't want to feel weighted forward. You don't want to feel like you're sitting back. Your center of gravity is here, right in the center, right at the spine and tailbone. All right, moving into our second warrior. Inhale. Exhale, turn torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel, right about here. Now, I like to take this leg and just turn it out a little bit more, just to provide a little bit more space, not only for this left leg, but also the right leg. And it's a nice hip opener. Still feeling that center. Okay, the center of gravity is here, through the spine, right through the tailbone, let's say, towards the ground. Warrior two. And maybe just turning the head towards the right hand for a little stretch in the neck. And then one last posture here. We're going to reach forward to angle the upper half of the body like so. I'm going to bend this right arm, tip, right arm, even your hand. If your arm doesn't reach the leg, bring your hand to your thigh while your left hand reaches into the air. This is side angle pose. Okay, we still want to have balance. Now there's some weight coming forward this way because of my angled upper body, so you might even feel a little bit more in this right knee. But if it's too far this way, make sure there's still energy moving the opposite direction towards this left hip, down that left leg, down to the foot. Inhale here. Exhale, carefully turn. I'm bringing hands to thigh. So I can just fold, letting the belly rest on the thigh. Free the hands so I can bring the hands to the floor. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. This just squares out the hips again. Press firmly into the mat with the hands, strong straight arms to help support the upper body so I can slide the right foot back, plank pose. Soft knees, send hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Make your adjustments with the feet and your hands as you need to. Remember to keep a softness in the knees. Send the hips in the air. Sink the chest. Same sequence on the other side. Establishing balance by stepping the right foot to center on the mat. Pick up your left foot. Inhale, extend the left leg back as straight as can be. Not worried about the height of the leg, just the energetic extension of the leg. Exhale, bend this left knee in the air. Bring the knee underneath you towards your chest, shifting forward until your shoulders are over the wrist. Let's set the left foot down. Keep the heel lifted. We'll set the right knee onto the floor. Get the weight away from the hands by pulling back. Free the left hand so we can go get the left foot by picking up the ankle and bringing up a little higher on the mat. Let's reset the left hand. Pick up the right knee. Turn that back leg and plant the heel. I'm stepping the hands back. So I'm shifting, finding the center of gravity. Putting more pressure into the mat with that right foot. Climb up the leg, both hands up to left thigh. We're kind of facing forward, helping to extend the torso until it feels straight and long at 45 degrees. We're also checking in with the back foot. It feels solid on the ground. Reach forward, inhale, hinge your way up, nice and tall, perpendicular to the floor. There's our warrior one. I'm reaching high, lunging low. Hold. Once again, notice the sensations in the body. We have fully extended arms, more distance between the feet. So we have a wider stance in our warrior one. Left leg is bent, left knee and toes are pointing forward. That back leg is slightly turned out, so getting a nice right hip flexor, release and stretch. Ready for warrior two. Breathe in. Exhale, turn torso towards the right side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. Be sure your left knee didn't move with it. It's still pointing forward, but we are going to turn that right leg out a little bit. There, now I feel more centered, more opened. Feel the balance. Extended arms. I'm going to turn my head towards left hand for that light stretch in the neck. There's my warrior two. Now side angle. I'm reaching forward, following the left hand to angle the upper half of the body. Bend left arm, rotate here. Once again, I'm just going to bring left hand to the thigh while right hand reaches into the air. I just want to be sure I feel opened up towards the right side of the room. So it's okay if you have your left hand or left forearm resting on the left thigh. 2 more breaths. We'll take a third inhale and exhale. Turn to bring both hands to your thigh. So you have support to lower your belly towards thigh. Free the hands, bring the hands to the floor. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you to square out the hips. Push firmly into the mat. Strong hands, strong straight arms. So we can slide the left foot back, plank pose, holding for strength and length. And then we'll set the knees onto the ground. We're going to sit back briefly into hero pose. That will free the hands. You can even circle the wrist quickly there. But we're going to slide off to the floor and bring the legs around to the front. All right, we're going to sit up nice and tall here. Now, I like to sit on the edge of a blanket. I'll show you. Just to create not only some softness underneath my seat, but also just to tip my pelvis just enough so I can sit up nice and tall. Because sometimes just sitting flat on the floor like this, I feel like I fall into my own back. I don't know if you can really see that. I'm not sitting up tall. You can see my posture isn't really great here. And so what I do, instead of sitting right on top of the blanket, which is nice, I like to kind of sit towards the edge, which starts to rock the pelvis forward, creating a slight arch in my back so I can sit up tall. So you can kind of play with that action. Straight legs here, flex your feet. We're going to use our prop, the strap, here in a second. Just have that handy. Place hands on the floor by your hips. Push into the floor to extend the spine nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze shoulder blades together as you're able. Look forward, nice long neck. It's a fairly easy pose because we're just sitting, but we want to activate. So straight legs, flexed feet, straight spine, open chest, deep breaths. I'm going to take this into a light forward fold. One more breath. This is called staff pose. And then just kind of relax for a bit and let's get our prop. So here's our yoga strap. It could be a belt, jump rope, just something long so you can wrap it around both feet. If it's really long, you might just want to wrap the strap around the wrists like so, around the hands. And then what you'll do is just a little tug of the strap to help you sit up tall. Just as we were pressing the hands into the floor to help you sit up tall. You can do that with a little tug of the strap. I'm going to inhale, get tall. Now as I exhale, still pulling belly button in towards spine, but a light tug of the strap to help draw myself forward or hinge forward, leading with the heart and chin as if I'm reaching towards my toes. Now, this is about as far as I'm going to go because I feel this. Not only do I feel it in the lengthened spine, but of course I feel it in my legs, stretching out the hamstrings. Now, you don't have to keep the legs absolutely straight. You can actually bend the knees a little or a lot. You can even round your back, lowering your chin. Again, that won't compromise the pose. It might allow you to go deeper without forcing the body and straining the body. Again, just working between that 60 and 70%. I want to keep my legs straight, but not hinge too far. Because I feel the stretch that I enjoy, I'm going to stay just like this. We'll practice some leg extensions here as well. Now, in a sense, we are doing a leg extension just by sitting and folding forward. But we're going to do it with a lifted foot, lifted leg while seated. One more breath. Good. And then just hinge your way back up, nice and tall. Just going to release the strap here for a moment. Let's change the sensation in the legs. They were straight. We had a nice hamstring stretch. So maybe just lean back a little bit, bend the knees so we can get that stretch out of the legs and come back to cobbler's pose or that bound angle pose where the soles of the feet touch. And then maybe just hold onto your shins or ankles and just sit up tall. Just hold that for a moment. All right, so we're going to practice a leg extension by lifting the leg. So we'll do this. We'll keep the left knee bent, re-extend the right leg here, but we do want to wrap the strap around the foot like so. So right foot, and I'm going to wrap the strap around my right hand so I've got a good hold like so. There we go. I think I've got it just like that. Okay, and pull on the strap to help you extend the spine. We're going to need a little extra support. I'm just going to bring my left hand behind me and just kind of lean back into the hand. Now I'm just going to bend this right knee, heel on the floor. Keep leaning back so you have support and just lift the leg. Now you can extend the leg completely if you're able, but you don't have to. You can just keep the knee bent. Okay, just practicing getting a leg and foot up off the ground while holding on to it in a strap and practicing these extensions. That's all. Okay, we'll be doing this in standing. Okay, let's bend the knee a lot, bring the heel back down, and there we go. Alrighty, we're going to do the other side. So I'm just going to release the strap, extend the left leg, bend my right knee, and I'm going to get that strap wrapped around the left foot. Get a good hold of the end of the strap. Just going to wrap it around my hand a few times. Good hold. I'm still sitting on my blanket, just nice and soft. It just helps support my back side. And then right hand behind and just leaning back. Let's bend this left knee a lot. Keep leaning back, supporting your body with your hand on the floor, and we'll pick up the foot. Again, you can just keep the knee bent, really just practicing having your foot in a strap and lifting it up off the ground, and maybe practicing extending. You don't have to hold that extension, and even if you are extending, it doesn't have to come to a full extension. You might even feel like your leg shakes a little bit. That's okay. That's just muscles engaging in a way that they probably aren't used to. And that's fine. You're just retraining them. All right, let's bend the knee, bring the heel to the floor, and we're done. I'm going to slide that forward. Okay, let's go ahead and release the strap. All right, we're going to come back to hands and knees. So I'm going to swing around, come to hands and knees. I am going to move my blanket out of the way. All right, let's go back to cat and cow. We're going to inhale, tip chin up, look forward, arching the back. That's our cow pose. Exhale, tuck tailbone under. Belly button pulls up towards spine. Still engaging the abdominal lock. Rounded spine, chin to chest. And reverse it. Do it 2 more times. Cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale into cat. Then come back to a neutral tabletop posture. We are going to return to a down dog. We're eventually going to make our way up to a standing position. As we did earlier, step the hands forward, spread out the fingers, lean into the hands, stretch open the palms. Strong straight arms, tuck your toes. This series I like to call cow, cat, dog because we're moving from cow pose, inhale, exhale into cat pose, and still while exhaling, lift the knees and the hips into the air, and there's our down dog. So cow, cat, dog. I'm adjusting the feet, adjusting the hands, hips lifting, head sinking, down dog. Let's step both feet towards the center of the mat until they're flat on the floor. Slide fingertips towards toes and just feel the balance on 2 feet in this standing forward fold. Still feeling the stretch in the legs, keeping a bend in the knees. Now lean back into the heels, bend your knees, lower your hips, bring hands to thighs, push to help extend the torso. There's our brief chair pose. As you're able, reach forward, sit back and down, just more strength in the legs. That way we straighten the legs by driving heels into the floor, getting nice and tall, reaching up into the air. Another nice stretch. Exhale, arms out and down. And a little circle of the shoulders. Alrighty, now our bodies should be ready for our balancing pose. So I'm going to bring in my chair, or just go and stand next to a wall or a table. Just want to be sure you can easily, just kind of rest one hand on the top of the chair or table or wall or whatever you have. We also need our strap, so carefully bend over to get your strap. So I'm going to mirror you. So what we'll do is take the strap, place it underneath the right foot. Okay, so I'm mirroring you. It's my left foot, but do your right foot. Okay, just like this. Again, I might need to still, let's see if I can do this, wrap the strap around my hand. Actually, I may not need to. I'm just going to hold on to it a little lower, like so. The strap just happens to be not that long, so I don't have to wrap it around my hand. All right, and you're standing next to your other prop, wall, table, or chair, okay? Just want to be in mountain pose, just like this. Okay, soften the knees. Now put weight into your left foot, the one closest to the wall, and use that support, hand on the table or chair. I'm picking up the right foot. I'm sorry, left foot. No, it is your right foot. Sorry, I'm mirroring you. Picking up your right foot. Just bending the knee. Sometimes I call this a marionette puppet. Just lifting. I'm just pulling on the strap, just like this. And then maybe extend the leg out in front, just like this. Now, we somewhat did this while seated on the floor. It's all it is. Don't worry about trying to get the leg up any higher. Just find kind of that comfortable place where you can lift the leg and extend the leg. We've got that strap just to hold on to. Now, your standing leg is also getting some work. Now, we're going to rest for a moment. Just bring this foot back down to the ground. Okay? You might even need to kind of shake out the left foot that you were just standing on. Now we're going to do this again, but we're going to take the leg forward and out. Actually, I might even start here on the floor. So once again, soft knees, put weight into the foot closest to your wall or table or chair. I'm going to step and turn my right foot out, like so. I'm going to bend the knee and lift so it's out to the side. That makes sense? So from here, toes are forward. I turn the toes to the side and just stepped out to the side. And then still using the support, lifting the knee, marionette puppet. Now, this is a great pose. You can just stay like this, or if you're able, extend the leg. See how I'm just kind of pulling taut on the strap? That way I have more support and security in holding on to the strap and my foot kind of in this little sling here. Just like this. Now, if you can, lift it higher, but you don't have to. Low is fine, just extend the leg. And then just bring it back down to the ground. I'm going to turn my toes forward. Replant it on both feet. There we go. Let's do the exact same series on the other side. I'm just going to move my chair to the other side so I can continue facing you. You can just turn around or move your chair, but you may not be able to move a table or a wall. All right, so I'm getting the strap underneath the other foot, left foot here, still mirroring you, hand on the top of my chair. First version, soft knees, putting weight into the right foot, support on this side of the body, marionette puppet, lifting the knee right here. Toes are pointing forward, leg is forward, I'm extending the leg forward. Again, a little taut pull on the strap so I've got a good hold, good control of the leg that's lifted. And just feel tall up top. Just be aware if you're leaning a lot or your back is rounded or you just feel kind of out of place. Okay, you want to make sure the standing foot is grounded, rooting into the floor. We have a nice tall extended spine and this nice extension of the leg. Let's bring that foot back down to the floor, rebalance on 2 feet so we can maybe shake out this right foot. Okay, rest for a moment. We're going to do the other side, so taking the leg out to the side. So not only are these great for just your legs, this is great hip work and hip flexor work. Hip flexors allow you to lift the foot by bending the knee right through here. And then because we're turning the leg, we're working kind of in that hip socket there. Okay, other side. Soft knees, putting weight into the right foot. I'm going to turn the left foot out and step out. There we are. But still leaning towards my other prop, bending the knee, marionette puppet, lift. Maybe just hold here for a moment. Maybe this is enough for you today. And then extend the leg. It's okay if it goes down. just as long as you can extend the leg. Pulling taut on the strap, good control. If you want, maybe practice lifting the leg, but it may not lift, nor do you have to lift it. This is fine here. Feel what's happening, this good energy in the standing leg. It's also getting some work, getting strength work as we're extending the other leg. Okay, let's bend the knee, set the foot down, turn the toes forward, and there we are, finished. Very nice work there, okay? Finished with our props here. Feel free to kind of stretch out the toes, shake out the legs and feet. Alrighty, I'm going to move these props out of the way. We're going to return to mountain pose, make our way down to the earth, and come to our final sequences. Nice and tall here. Inhale, extend the arms out and up. Exhale, spread your wings, arms out to the side. Bend your knees, sit back into the imaginary chair. Bring hands to thighs. As you sit back, feel the belly come down towards thighs and just slide your hands down the legs. As you're able, look between the knees to the wall behind you. Still more stretching through the backs of the legs, keeping the knees bent. Inhale, slide the hands up to the shins, re-extend spine. Exhale, bend the knees more, fold, get low enough, hands on the floor, walk both feet to the back end of your mat. Lower the hips to shoulder level, strong straight line, plank pose. Breathe in, and in the exhale, gently set the knees onto the floor. Now I'm going to keep the feet flat rather than tucking the toes, and then carefully sit back, hips towards heels for hero pose. Now you can do this with tucked toes. Very briefly here, it's going to open up or stretch the thighs, stretch the knees, shins, and ankles, the top of the feet. We're not going to hold that long at all. We're going to sit off to the side, swing the legs around to the front. Now do scoot to center on the mat because we're going to lie down. Here you're going to need your yoga blocks or a couple of hardbound books for our bridge pose. We're also going to do another leg extension, and you can have your strap handy, okay, because you can use it or not for this next leg extension. Carefully roll onto your back, bring knees to chest, and maybe some gentle movements here. This feels nice as some relief work for the low back and hips. I also like to circle the ankles here, flex and point. All right, we're moving to bridge pose. So set the feet onto the floor. Nice secure connection. You have your books or blocks nearby ready to go. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, you can breathe out through the mouth if you'd like, so you can feel the air leave your belly, still engaging the core muscles, using that strength and energy to lift your hips high enough to slide your books or blocks underneath you. I'm using both my blocks only because they're thin. Sometimes the blocks are a little bit more thick, and that's kind of more typical. And then just sit. And we're just going to hold here for a moment. A couple of deep breaths. Just allowing the hip flexors especially, just to kind of open up naturally without engaging them. Because by sitting, it really takes some of the effort away from the body. It disengages some of the muscles, so you don't have to work too hard while being in this back bend. All right, now we are going to do a leg extension. Now I can't reach my strap, so I'm not going to use my strap, but you're welcome to use a strap for this. I'll pretend like I do have a strap. All right, I'm going to keep my left foot on the floor, but I'm going to kind of move it to a place where I feel a little bit more centered. My foot was way out to the left side, but I'm bringing it a little bit more towards center, pushing into the ground. And as I do so, I'm picking up the right foot. Imagine that I'm wrapping the strap around the right foot. Maybe you're doing that. I'm not, because I don't have one. And then extend the leg into the air. So you can do this with or without a strap. Now I'm able to extend my right leg pretty fully here, but remember, you don't have to fully extend the leg. If you're not holding on to the strap, just hold on to your leg. Remember, the knee can be bent. It may not even be straight up and down. It may be out in front of you. And that just kind of depends on how your hip flexor and your back are working for you. One more breath. And on that exhale, just go ahead and bend the knee. Release the strap if you're using it, and just set the foot onto the floor. Okay, and just hold here for a few seconds, relaxing, because that did take some engagement. And then we'll do the other side. So getting the strap ready for the left foot. So I'm adjusting the right foot a little bit so it's firmly planted into the ground. Picking up left foot, wrap strap around the left foot if you're using it, and then extend the leg into the air. Now the foot is naturally flexed, especially if you're using a strap, but if you're not using a strap, do flex the foot. Not too strongly, you just want to feel like your heel is reaching up towards the ceiling. Same thing, just hold on to the leg if you're not holding onto the strap. The leg might be straight or the knee might be bent. It also may even be lower. It doesn't have to be perpendicular to the floor. One more breath. I can already feel the leg shaking, just means it's working. And I'm going to bend the knee, release the strap, set the foot down. Relax for a moment, disengage. We're done with the strap, so set it to the side. Press feet into the ground, lift the hips so you can remove the blocks out from underneath you, and then carefully come back down to the earth. From here, extend both legs out front, and if you have room behind you, reach the arms behind you. Nice extension. And then just bring the arms down to your side. So we've made it to Shavasana. So the end of our practice right here. Now as you just feel the body settle, take some deep breaths, feel the body relax, disengage those muscles. You're done with the work. Now we're ready for a return to meditation. So I'm just noticing how the feet naturally fall open, the legs also kind of turn outward and relaxed. My hips, my back also relaxing. Shoulders, arms, hands. Notice your breathing. Slow, steady, and deep breaths. It's okay if you can't hear the breath or the breath volume might be a little lower. That's okay. But do be aware of the breathing. Eyes can remain opened with soft eyelids. You might just be gazing upward towards the ceiling, or just close your eyes. Rest. Stay aware of your breath. Sometimes the mind likes to wander, especially when you relax the body. The mind continues working. So as best as you can, come back to this moment. You can do so by taking a deep breath in and out. Continue to notice your breath. You're welcome to stay here as long as you need to. This wonderfully relaxing posture, this nurturing pose, Shavasana. Even as I end the practice and I come up to seated, you're welcome to stay here lying down. When you are ready to move, start with breath. Just take deeper breaths. 5 slow, deep, intentional breaths. And as you're breathing deeply, feeling movement return to your body. Gradually feeling movement return. Take your time, even if you need to take more than 5 breaths. And then when you feel movement has returned, ready to come up to seated, I like to bend the knees, to plant the feet, to help roll to one side, and then use my hands and a new breath to help press up to seated. You can cross your legs here, even sit on your pillow or blanket, and just sit up nice and tall, beginning where we are ending where we began. Nice deep breath here. And one last movement together. Inhale, extend the arms out and up. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And taking one more full and complete breath. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.